The following is a presentation of CBC Sports.
Stephen Daniels' debut turns out to be a sweet silver moment, the initial para-triathlon at the Games, and the 19-year-old Calgarian races to the podium at Copacabana. Meantime, Michelle Stilwell leaves no doubt she remains on top of her game. A mother, a BC cabinet minister, a Paralympic champion for the 5th time. What a great start to this Canadian's run in Rio. Conditions are perfect in the Paralympic city for day 3 of the Games. Just at dusk, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, all fired up about sport in the summer of 2016. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show for Saturday, September the 10th. I'm Scott Russell, along with Greg Westlake, the captain of Canada's sledge hockey team. You know what, Greg? Canada's up to 8 medals at these Games. They've got 1 on the track today, 1 on the velodrome, and 1 in para-triathlon. And now they're inching towards top 10 status. Nothing like having momentum when you're a part of a big team.
Well, it's absolutely huge. And the thing about being in the Olympic Village is once you see athletes from your nation with medals in their hand, depending on your superstition level, you might be able to hold somebody else's gold medal, silver medal, or not. And then it inspires you to go out the next day and give your gold medal performance.
And so they want to keep the wheels rolling. We're going to focus tonight on wheelchair basketball. It's Australia versus Canada. It's a must-win for Canada. Let's learn more about the sport in this edition of Para 101.
Wheelchair basketball has featured in every Games since its introduction in 1960. The sport is very similar to able-bodied basketball. The court, the hoop, and the backboard are all the same dimensions. Each team consists of 12 players, with 5 on court at any one time. Players are classified on a point system from 1 to 4.5. The higher the number, the lower the impairment. Each team can't exceed a total of 14 points on the court at any time. Players must not travel with the ball and are required to throw or bounce it after every 2 pushes on their wheels. Like the able-bodied version, free throws resulting from a foul score 1 point. Field goals within the 3-point line score 2 points. And for all baskets scored outside, 3 points are awarded. Fouls occur when a player or their wheelchair comes into contact with an opponent. Each game consists of 4 periods of 10 minutes. Extra periods of 5 minutes are played if scores are tied at the end of regular time. Players use lightweight, easy-to-maneuver wheelchairs. The chair is comprised of 1 or 2 small wheels at the front, 2 large wheels at the back, set outward at a slant to ensure balance and stability. Players are strapped into the chair, so any slight movement will see the wheelchair react with you to achieve maximum agility. This is a fast-paced and frenetic sport, requiring eye-hand coordination and stamina.
Para 101 is brought to you by the Paralympian Search. Are you tough enough to become Canada's next Paralympian? Go to paralympic.ca to find out.
Group A standings. Canada and Japan are without a win. Australia is 2-0. Spain and Turkey lead the group so far. The top 4 are going on to the quarterfinals, so Canada's got to get a win. One bright spot has been Nick Gonchin, the 24-year-old of Regina. Greg?
Well, Nick Gonchin is one of their best players, and it's no surprise. He was MVP at the 2014 World Junior Championships, and he's approaching his prime. He's just 24 years old, so he can contribute now, but he's just going to get better in the future. They're going to need him tonight.
He's got lots of speed. He's a shooting guard, very versatile. He can do everything, right?
Exactly, and as you see here, 9 points per game, 10.5 rebounds, 4 assists. He says he views basketball as a bit of a chess game. He likes looking at the other team's weaknesses and really trying to find a way to break them down.
24 years old, born in Regina, Saskatchewan. He plays his collegiate ball at the University of Illinois. There is the Olympic Park at Baja, and they play at Rio Olympic Arena. To call the match between Australia and Canada, Mike Carlson.
is set for a real clash of the Titans, but possibly a changing equally of the guard. Australia and Canada set up next in the men's wheelchair basketball competition. They have been 3 of the last 4 Paralympic gold medals in the wheelchair basketball competition. They've had right now it looks a little bit of a more daunting travel for Canada, as Zhang will make his way. Really a great bit of respect and sportsmanship as he's done the round the house with everybody. They just concede that one, Canada, as Latham will just touch it back. And this immediately for Knowles. You wouldn't be surprised if he looks for 3. Here he goes. It's up. And that's as good a roll to try to compete, at least to fall down on the first touch of it. But it will, on both attempts, just spray wide of the rim. Knowles is confident enough that he'll take another one from here. There he goes. And that's the second asking of it, is a little more rewarding as he returns that with interest. Right side, that is so well received by the Canadian, taking that inside to Ang. Ang will go up off the glass, and that is some great work. From 3-point range, it's going to be a passing play across to Ang. Ang will just take his moment to shoot, and both teams right now just a little bit challenged to get their shooting sights going. This is a much better range for Australia, and an open play. They find a way to convert. So the score coming, Tristan Knowles has got 3, the other 2 now belonging to Norris as expected. Those 2 leading from the front for the green and gold. And there's a couple now 3-pointers. He's starting to throw the rainbows up, is Tristan Knowles. And that'll just give now a 4-point spread for the land down under. And they're putting the Maple Leafs pressure early in this one. Knowles from 3-point range. He's going to go for 3 right now. They better slow him down. He's got himself a hot shooting hand that he strokes. 9 points already for Australia. Norris and Knowles right now taking Australia forward in this one. And you wouldn't bet against them increasing it to a double-point advantage, but a pass inside and the hoop and the harm, and that's what Canada needed. And the long extension from Nick Gonchin, 24 years of age, and he has that height. You see the different wheelchairs, and it really comes down to the height of the athletes. If they have an amputation on one or both of their legs, well, they can choose the height that they would like, maybe for their chair where the seat level will be at. But if their legs equally, they need to obviously allow for those, and making sure that the height of their seat, because of simply the height of their body, is going to be higher than other athletes. And remembering as well that the limbs provide a counterweight, a counterbalance that helps them retain their balance, and equally the angle in which the wheels come down from their chair will give them a wider tripod type of positioning. So every player, depending on their physical characteristics and equally their impairment, but now Canada find a little bit of a stroke here, and that goes high up, and that's such an impressive shot, to use the full height of the backboard to get the angle and also the speed of it arriving, so the deflection comes down at the right distance, and too easy inside for Australia as Bradley Ness, the captain, the 41 years young player. And Canada bringing it within 7. Gonchin has really been holding it together through the spine of this offense and up and down at both ends of the floor for the Maple Leafs. He's got himself in a good position there, and the hoop and the harm. I think he's going to go. He's going to go for a 3-point play here. And Canada have just somehow struck a balance in this match. Well, the Australians who come out, and any side in this tournament that is able to send in the long-range bombers of 3-pointers that we saw from Tristan Knowles, that he misses the free throw after the basket. But anybody's going to take a good head start, and you're going to get that type of shooting. This for Norris, and Norris will just go off the back of the rim. as they really look to change up. Gonchit, Wan, Vermette, Miller, and Eng for Canada on the floor right now. So the last minute and a half, 2 minutes, is not a whole lot of scoring on the board, and some curiosity as to the flavor of this match. Neither of these teams give the other any quarter. It is, I'm not going to say it's prison rules, but they play for keeps for sure. Everybody does, but this has got history to it. The shot from Simmons, and he's been able to strike a balance there. He's going to have a couple shots here. And he works the rim at the front and also the backboard. And gets the encouragement from his team as well. Oh, that is a sweet stroke there. It's string music for David Eng. A winding route through the first quarter. It feels as though we've almost moved through towards the end of the first half, but we're just coming up to the remaining minute, and there is Knowles again. And Canada do need to keep an eye on him. And he'll find his own space. He was behind a pick there and just was able to make the most of his shot. And nothing more intimidating than great shooting accuracy. You just can ill afford making mistakes. How will this give and go from the Canadians? And the follow through is not as precise. That really was a great overlap, and then an underlay pass coming in. A defensive rebound for Knowles, and if you give him some room, he's going to stop and pop. There, he's ready for another one. He'll just again find a way just past the open bucket. And Eng, you expect that he's going to try and take this one on. The feed to Gonchit. He's going to have to hold the pass to the outside. A better position there, and oh, that's well taken. That is the Canadian number 7, Wan, who just puts that one up, and that's his first couple points of the match. So it's still within 5, and what looked to be an Australian, well, shall we say, a speedy start, particularly with Knowles and what he was able to do from three-point range. It's back within check, and this match is just starting to heat up after the first quarter of play. It's Australia 21, Canada with 16.
Hello there. You are now one of the lucky people in this world to call yourself Canadian. Welcome aboard. You'll grow up doing things we all do, or you'll do your own thing. Either way, you're a doer. Your heroes will inspire you, but you'll find ways to inspire yourself. That's important. You'll love your home, but its borders won't be able to hold you. You'll push out to see the world. One day, you'll wake up 6 hours ahead, or 8 hours behind, or here. Maybe to prove yourself. Maybe because you're needed. Maybe to show off your big, bad, superpowered brain. That'll be you, flying the flag. And when you leave, they'll remember that smart, helpful, confident, tough Canadian. So we thank you in advance for making your mark. The world needs more Canada. Let's bring it to them.
not be known across the country. But when you see me compete in the Paralympic Games, the country will see all it took to get me here. I'm Sabrina Duchain. Today, I'm part of Team Canada, but first I was part of tomorrow's Team Canada.
Since 1988, Petro-Canada has supported over 2,700 Olympic and Paralympic hopefuls.
I pick up a broken comb, run it through my thin gray hair. Though I don't have any plans tonight, I'm not going in.
When our team is clicking, the communication level is very high, and you can hear chairs grinding on other chairs because we play a full court defense. There's always contact, and so when you hear the communication across all 5 guys communicating with whoever's beside them, and then you hear that grinding on chairs and all that, you really know that our defense really dictates our offense as well, and so that's when things are going well.
Game Faces is brought to you by the Paralympic Foundation of Canada. To support Canada's future Paralympians, text PARA-TOUGH to 45678 to donate $5.
Underway in the second quarter, it's Canada with the possession arrow. It was Latham that took that opening tip, and then the Canadians just conceding. They really need to take advantage of that. Coming in and driving to the basket. That was uncontested, and they let it slip. That was Hedges, the captain, the co-captain, with David Eng. And Tristan Knowles, again, right into a soft pocket, and he'll go right off the glass, and he'll kiss it down for another couple of points. Rolling. He's been a little bit, well, controlled so far. And Marinchuk is now out onto the floor. His first bit of play. He's the 20-year-old. He's a 4.5 classified player too. And just as you see it, the Canadians have struck again. 3-pointer. What a beauty it is. It's Gonchit. This is a moment really for Canada to try and take a turn of momentum. Tristan Knowles missing that first shot, and he'll find the second one. Number 15, the captain, the co-captain for this Australian side, and also more senior in years too, so he knows how to play the game, and a little bit of physicality will never hurt anybody. It certainly lets the other team know your urgency and intensity as well. He'll take a score to the inside. He gets that pass, and Ness puts it up. It's out to Ang. That's going to be a tough one. It just goes beyond the rim, and Ang's just come up a little bit short in his last couple attempts. And now the Mexican wave starts to kick its way around this Rio Olympic arena. The energy and the buzz and the crowds for the Paralympic Games, and particularly the wheelchair basketball, has been as good as the Olympic Games. And so the scoreline starting to increase now for Australia. It's 8 points clear. As we're getting to the latter third of this first half now, the second quarter rather. as the 2 minute on the clock coming, and that's generally an indication of just a call to arms, wanting to manage your possessions and equally control momentum going into halftime. Norris, he's the go-to man. He'll control the ball as well as anybody on the floor. Ang will take it though. He goes too strong off the glass, and Ang is awaiting for it. And you see him almost with so much extension. He comes off the floor. And the famous athlete for Canada, no longer playing in wheelchair basketball, Patrick Anderson, highly regarded as probably the best in the sport. He was a part of the gold medal in London 4 years ago, but he made famous the move of actually elevating off the floor with the wheelchair and extending, trying to get rebounds. And that is not an easy thing to achieve. It will go, and it will be controlled by Canada. Hickey comes up with it. Canada, their shooting touch has kind of failed them a little bit in the stages here right now. And Ang will take it and score. That really was great. In motion and trying to hold his line. He extends with his follow through. He gets the harm from the wheelchair, just trying to block him out. And that was McShane doing his best to force him on the outside line. And from Ang, from there, to follow through and to get the swish. That's a golden moment. Just looked down, he's gone through the motion of preparation for this shot. This brings it back within 5. He's unable to do it though. It goes off the rim, and he's come up a little bit short. Inside, in the course of shooting, Latham can't take that first opportunity and convert it. And just sort of resign. That's the call. Not sure how it could have changed, but nonetheless, Latham takes the shot. Oh, does he work the rim there? And now it's an 8-point spread. He gets both of them from the line. That's his 4th point of the game so far. Gaunchin could come around the end here. Tristan Knowles is going to make him have to pull up on himself to the outside. And this, the long play. Gaunchin again, as they knew, was most likely going to be the threat. He's going to have to be impressive. The shot clock is, though, slipping away. And this, they're going to have to work quickly, Canada. Oh, they'll find it. And a strike that just keeps them within touching distance. And it's now within 6, and that's where it has been. But it looked really as though they were running out of time. And Liam Hickey just drops in a bucket. Inside, coming over the back. And they're going to count it. The hoop and the harm. So inside to Norris. But Hickey, those were his first 2 points of the match. He's only had 2 attempts at it to get that score as he's fading away. And then equally, just waiting to see, are they going to put it on the board? So the shot. And the credit there now being awarded to Norris. He'll wait for the bonus point. It's looking good so far from the free throw line. He's 3 from 3. He drops it. So 9.3 seconds. A ways to travel to get to a good shot, and the aggressive defense from Australia, that makes it difficult. Just electing to let that ball come forward because the clock only starts when they have it in their retention. Down low, Gaunchin, and as they're reaching in, and are they going to count this one? Well, that rotating and coming around the corner. So we're getting late in this. It's Gaunchin who draws the foul. He's going to take the shot. So we're at a point where we've exceeded the foul threshold, and they will, in fact, get the chance now to go to the line. Even though that was a quick whistle, he was just trying to come around the end. He takes the first one. Those are crucial points for both sides, just to keep the scoreboard moving forward positively. He's in good position again. And he won't get both of them. Latham with the important defensive rebound, and Australia will just retain possession. No long lunges late at the end of 20 minutes of play. And this is proving maybe a tighter matchup than possibly expected. Really just gold medal world champions are Australia from 2014. They lead the gold medal Paralympic champions from 2012 in London. It's 36-28, Australia over Canada at halftime in the men's wheelchair basketball. This is Group A action in the preliminary round.
Canada putting on a better show, still down by 8 at the half. Greg Westlake's analysis after the break as Rio 2016 and the Paralympic Games continue.
Remember the moment. Adversity staring down at you. Fear of failure as universal as your drive to victory. You have faced that adversity, conquered it, used it to silence a world that wants to define ability. You've proven you're able to win, to inspire, thrive. You've worked just as hard, pushed just as far, overcoming the doubts all athletes face. There is no despite, only in spite of. You're here because you deserve to be. All your life you've known it. Victory against adversity defines you, but no one can define your adversity. You have shown the world that you are not here to just compete. You are here to win.
Every child should learn how to swim, for health, for safety, and for fun. That's why we've started Canada's Swim Team. Learn to swim at least 25 meters on your own, and you're on the team. Canada's Swim Team. It's that easy. Help make us the world's largest swim team by adding your name at getswimming.ca. Ask your parents first. Swimming, the only sport that can save your life.
Welcome back. Rio 2016 and the Paralympic Games. Scott Russell along with Greg Westlake, 36-28 for Australia over Canada at the half. You say it's a positive half, but listen, they don't have a dominant player since Pat Anderson left after the Paralympic Games in 2012. Nick Gonchin is giving it a shot, though.
Well, that's just it. You know, Canada's ranked outside the top 10 right now, and Australia's ranked in the top 5. So this is going to be a tough game for Canada. But Nick Gonchin, David Ing, they're forcing Canada into this game. They're leading by example. Gonchin has their only three-pointer of the half. They both have assist numbers up, rebound numbers up. They're leading the way for Team Canada. All right, so Gonchin is contributing, as is David Ing, the co-captain. Here's another look at Gonchin down low, puts it up, and he is leading the way in terms of scoring. Meantime, Australia has the ability to control the game because they're a bigger team. Well, they have the size advantage. When you have the size advantage in wheelchair basketball, you just can't get touched in the key, and that's why their shooting percentages are higher, and that's why they're able to build that lead. Canada was just a couple clutch shots away from really being in this game, and hopefully they can get some rebounds and get back in the second half. Reminder, they are only down by 8 points at the half to Australia. So Canada doesn't have a dominant player. They do have solid leadership. Let's check in on the Paralympians, co-captains Bo Hedges and David Ing.
The The Paralympians, brought to you by CIBC.
Between David and myself, we do a lot of it by example.
Everybody's got to be in sync.
He works harder than any other athlete, and I work hard myself.
And we have a really young team.
And so between the two of us, just trying to show them what you need to do.
Team USA takes the gold medal.
Our team needs to experience defeat so they know what it is and how to overcome it.
Both teams are heading to the Paralympics next year.
It was a great reality check to be able to lose against the U.S., to experience it as a team. I always say it's really through losses that you actually learn more. And I think it's going to drive us to be towards this whole year and the road to Rio, and gives us energy to be able to go to that other step of success.
You know, little bits of information that we can give them in terms of, you know, just seeing how they're feeling and kind of giving them pointers and motivating them, because everybody has tough days, and as you're younger, it's sometimes tougher to get over that.
We experienced winning together by beating Brazil, and we had the chance to witness and experience losing. And there's a lot of other teams in Rio that are of USA caliber, and we have to step up our game there.
And so we need everybody, all 12 guys, to be at their peak physical condition. The communication and just the comfort level. When you get to a Paralympic Games, it's got to be second nature. You can't be thinking about, oh, is he going to do this, is he going to do that? It all just has to happen, and you have to know where that player is. And so with the young group leading forward, that will be key as we move into those games.
The Paralympians is brought to you by CIBC, proud partner of the Canadian Paralympic team.
Just a reminder, coming up right after the match, primetime coverage of championship show jumping on CBC from Spruce Meadows. It's the team event, the Nations Cup. And to tee it up, here is Bruce Rainey.
Anticipation starting to build for one of the great events in show jumping, the BMO Nations Cup from Spruce Meadows. Bruce Rainey with Deanna Phelan. 10 countries are here. They want this title badly. Among those 10, the gold medalists from France, from Rio. They bring 2 of their 4 players from Rio to Spruce.
Yeah, what a treat. We've got Kevin Stout and Roger-Yves Bost, 2 very familiar names here at Spruce Meadows.
No team ever has had more Nations Cup success at Spruce Meadows than the Germans. They have 2 of their 4 from Rio here as well.
Yes, #1 rider in the world, Christian Allman, will be on the team, followed up by Meredith Michaels Beerbaum.
Now, for Canada to have any chance tonight, who has to star?
Well, actually leading off the ride will be our own Tiffany Foster. And she had a great run at Rio and loves to ride here in Canada.
And the anchor rider is obvious.
Well, the amazing Eric Lamaze, he will be in the anchor position. And, you know, we've only won this twice in the past, so they'll be looking to put #3 in the books.
Team versus team, 8 o'clock Eastern tonight on CBC.
Thanks, Bruce. Deanna, back to the court in a moment. Canada forced into a corner against Australia. Can they claw their way back at Rio 2016?
Hello there. You're one of the lucky ones to call yourself Canadian. You'll have heroes, but you'll find ways to inspire yourself. You'll love your home, but its borders won't be able to hold you. One day, you'll push out to see the world, make your mark, and fly the flag. And when you leave, they'll remember that smart, helpful, tough, confident Canadian. The world needs more Canada. Let's bring it to them.
Introducing an amazing lineup of accessible devices from Bell, like the hearing aid compatible Doro 824 with a friendly and intuitive interface. With a tactile keyboard overlay, the Doro 824C is designed for those who are blind or have low vision. Chocolate. It even reads text for you. Plus, the Tekla fits to any wheelchair, so it can work hands-free. Bell. Accessibility just got better.
Today, we've invited a group of youngsters to the ranch.
Do the cows ever go in the house with you? What's it like to be a rancher? Is it true that cows jump over the moon?
Cows like to travel in S's.
Do you have to work every day?
That's right.
Do you even have to work on your birthday?
Great food grows in Canada. That's why McDonald's only serves Canadian beef.
Shuttle bay doors open. Copy that. It's a rogue. 3, 2, 1. Ignition. We have liftoff. Throttle up. Landing complete.
It's a Rogue.
The 2016 Nissan Rogue, the compact SUV with all the space you need.
Thank you very much.
I can feel that the team is clicking when everything flows. It's hard to explain. There's like, it's like music, I guess. There's a melody in the game, and if you go against it, it doesn't really work. But you got, it's a feeling, it's a sense, and you can feel the rhythm of the game, and everything falls into place. It's like being in the zone. You don't really think about it. It just happens. It's just a feeling. I just try to be in touch of the moment and try to feel what's going on at that particular moment. I discovered that way later in my career. If I would have learned that way earlier, I would be a way better player today.
Game Faces is brought to you by the Paralympic Foundation of Canada. To support Canada's future Paralympians, text PARA-TOUGH to 45678 to donate $5.
Greg, at 39 years of age, David Eng keeps on ticking at his 4th Paralympics.
Well, absolutely, and we're seeing interviews. He always puts the team first, but we're seeing in that first half that he does what needs to be done when the game's on the line. He's keeping Canada in this.
David Eng, a leader all the way. Back to Mike Carlson now for the 3rd quarter at Rio Olympic Arena.
Canada and Australia locked in this one in the men's wheelchair basketball. It's the Australians with the 8-point lead coming in now to the 3rd quarter, just a moment or two away. These two nations, they know each other well in men's wheelchair basketball, and this is going to be an interesting 3rd and 4th quarter to come. Norris has done a great job handling the ball. He gives it to Knowles. Knowles has 14 points, and Norris has 9, and he's just feathered up a beauty off of the glass. He'll take it to 11. So this has gone to double-digit lead now for Australia. That's just exactly what they want to bring to open up this 3rd quarter. The feed from Eng. Eng has just got too many players on him. The attempt from the shot, they're inside of 10 seconds now. Going right to is Gonshin. Gonshin just can't get the control he needs. That little bit of finesse on the final moment, and it just evades him. And you see Latham just getting upended there, but just as quick getting himself upright too. And Knowles into a shooting position. He shows you just how brilliant he can be. He's gone to 16. When you have a player of his quality, and he's got a good look at the basket, he's going to have to take his shots, and that's the best way he can lead. So he's at 43%. It's not been an outstanding. Look at that tall rainbow coming from David Eng. He's a co-captain of Canada, and he now just keeps things moving, but it's within 10, and that's starting to creep away from Canada. They've got a long ways to go now. They'll take it. The Knowles gets it back. A long play up this into the capable receivership of Latham, and he will put 2 more points up. This has been good so far from Australia. They're extending their lead. It was as much as 8. It's now gone to 12. And both of the Australian players unsighted. They had their back to that pass. It goes into the lap of Gonchen. He's a no-look pass out to Eng. And he hasn't quite got the range that we've seen from that distance from the Australian number 9, Tristan Knowles, who's got 3 3-pointers in the match. The feed in, and Knowles will take the foul en route to putting in another couple points. And Canada are just getting broken up a little bit right now. Just becoming a little bit deconstructed and a little bit disassembled in how they need to really focus their defensive efforts. And you're seeing that discussion going on there, and that was brought about really by Lois said, let me deal with the referees. That was Hedges coming across, the veteran, and just querying the call. He's the 36-year-old. He's one of the co-captains of Canada. And he'll come out, Juan, Hickey, Gonchen, Vermette, and Miller. So Eng takes a breather as well. And this game's just starting to increase now for Australia. They're really just taking it by the scruff of the neck, starting to drive it forward. There is an important shot for Canada from Juan. He just keeps things moving. Peter Juan, 28-year-old, a 2.5. So again, if you're just tuning in, every player has a numerical value apportioned to their level of function, and that effectively makes up their classification. Norris is the danger player. He's the most active down low. He gets the feed right there. He's under the basket. You wouldn't bet against him finding a way to get it in. He does. He doesn't use the backboard that time. He's just up over the rim for another 2. 33 of the 50 points between the 2 of them for Australia. That's a pretty good-looking shot there. It's just in open space. Liam Hickey in and amongst it as well now. Canada have just been slow starting and not been able to play their game in this 3rd quarter. And it's been a robust effort from Australia, really executing. And again, Knowles is going to go for 3-point land, and look at him. He's a superstar from range as he just continues to rain in 3-point buckets. That's his 4th one of the game. That really is significant. It's the most that we've seen in the tournament. Oh, and he comes right back to Gonchen. And Australia just keep working away on that scoreline. It's Norris again, 15 points. David Eng, it's in, and he answers back. They've just been so busy defensively, so active. And the tempo being set by the Australian coach. There's a little bit of the up and under. The feed down low. And the basket as well for the Australians. The assertion, the aggression, that's what was being talked about from their coach, and just setting the tempo. That's exactly what they're doing, and they're executing to follow up as well. And a couple of air balls back and forth for both sides. And they're no different than a shot that goes off the rim and doesn't fall in, but it does affect the confidence that maybe you haven't quite got your sight set or equally the right range of feel of distance, but it's irrelevant now. It's Ang. Ang does a great job there. That's a powerful move to try and get the defense to sell on the full extension of their hands up in front of you and then come up and around. And last minute of this quarter. And a shot with the dying seconds from three-point range. That might have a chance. It's going to miss. It doesn't touch the rim. And inside of the dying seconds of this third quarter, Ang is just trying to get away. He's going to have to be really impressive and quick. The co-captain, he's just brought about too much attention. They can't get that shot off, and that's just a little bit of an indication there where Canada hasn't quite got an answer to break down this Australian defense. 8:44 at three-quarter time. This is the men's wheelchair basketball from Group A.
I'm sure you have no idea what my name is. That's okay, because you haven't seen me anywhere yet. But my day is coming. I'm Virginie Chénier. In Rio, I'm not part of Team Canada. I'm part of tomorrow's Team Canada.
Since 1988, Petro-Canada has supported over 2,700 Olympic and Paralympic hopefuls.
I pick up a broken comb, run it through my thin gray hair. Though I don't have any plans tonight, I'm not going in.
Late night across the country. Check your local listings. More coverage from day 3 of the Paralympics in Rio. Our focus, swimming and athletics finals. Canadians particularly busy in the pool. Back to Mike Carlson now. Fourth quarter action. Canada versus Australia at Rio Olympic Arena.
It's going to be a road to hoe for Canada to get back and to recover this 14-point deficit. It rattles around the rim. Gonshin goes up for it, but it'll be taken down by his teammate. And Hickey with control. He'll come around the backside. Stibner's taking his time. He makes the play, and it goes back to Stibner's. Now wide across the zone. Oh, and he just puts it in as if he'd just been waiting against time to find his moment, utilizing the game clock as well. And if you can do that, maximize your possessions with the ball, and at the end of it, get a return, well, that really is game management at its best. They've got the lead. They really are in control now, Australia. There's a couple points back. It keeps the Canadians just bubbling along. Deans, the play across. You've seen that a moment ago. Into Stibner's. And he works the rim. It just bumps off the front of it. And the quick transition trying to be employed, but Australia have been dynamite at getting back and not allowing any fast break points, not allowing Canada to really get up and establish any position. By the time they have approached the halfway point of the line, they're already looking at a 5-pack of Aussies basically populating that key area and directing traffic as to where Canada can look from and where they'd like to go. Stibner's! Oh my, he's got another pocket rocket, and he's just dropped a 3-ball. That's another one for Australia. 5 overall, 4 of them belonging to Knowles. That one now from Stibner's, and look at him. He's up to 10 points on double digits, and 6 of them, rather 7 of them, just coming in the last few minutes. Contact on the arm, leading to the call, the foul. Etheridge, always interesting to have a listen in on these timeouts. Get an idea of just the personality, equally the intention, obviously, directly, right from the horse's mouth. Even though they know they're on camera and being listened to, they're not going to change their message. They've got to make sure that they are paying attention to the details that their teams need to execute. Stibner's again. He's gone up to a dozen. Oh, what a feed right down the lane for Juan, and Peter Juan. 20 points as you see the differential now. And it's not done for certain, but pretty much the green and gold have got control of proceedings. Another shot from the Aussies. Sharp as a knife, the Stibner's. The silent shooter Stibner's just quietly coming in and just racking them up on the board. There's their co-captain again, Bradley Ness. And he holds that distinction all his own, actually. You see the shared captaincies across a number of these teams. But Ness is the only one. The veteran gets that denotation, 41 years of age, and a 4.5 classified player. And And the work here from Gonshin, and as much as just having to muscle through two outstretched arms in front of him, and he finds a way in which to get the reward. So this quarter for Australia, they are leading at 17-7. And they just took control in the second half and really took things. It was within reach. Bradley Ness, the offload. Stibners will go from 3. Oh, he's got it. What can't he put in the basket in the second half of this game? And he's going to roll right through into 20 points soon. He's right at 19. That's impressive. It's the most threes that I've seen attempted and equally completed in this tournament, and neither the men's or the women's. It's 6 total now that have been dropped for Australia. And that's just in this match. He's going to go for it again. And this one will just be short of the mark. So the 3-pointers, now they get buried in their overall cumulative stat line. They have their percentages in the tournament so far. Canada just trying to get into the key inside the last minute of this match. And they'll, just for pride's sake, want to stand one more time up against the Australians. Look at that, underneath, a little offload, and the crowd oohing over that one as Bradley Ness shows a little bit of flair. And he takes that one full distance of the court into his clutches. And then the under looper as he just offers that one under the table. Almost like a, well, little treat, wasn't it? So Green, the only player for Canada not getting into this match. The majority of the scoring coming from David Eng, the co-captain, and then Gonshin with 15 and Eng with 17. It's 53 points in total that Canada can accumulate, but it is some distance off of the 25 more that the Australians will put on the board. And there's a minute, or sorry, rather a second 0.5, as they just hold that ball right to the end and just squeeze the life out of any hope. But there, the buzzer sounds. And after 4 quarters, it has been a very workmanlike and impressive performance from Australia. They mean business in Rio. They mean business every time they go out. But against score, Australia really leading from the front right from the beginning. 78-53 over Canada. That's the full-time result in the men's wheelchair basketball in Group A in this preliminary round.
So Canada 0-3. Their next match tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time. They take on Japan, and they must have a win. That'll be streaming live at cbcsports.ca/Paralympics. Social media, here's Nick Gonshin. He had 15 points in the match versus Australia. No rest, getting better every day. Japan is next. Here's Greg Westlake. Well, they say that you play to the level of your opponent, and this was by far Canada's best game against Australia.
Well, absolutely. They rose the bar against Australia. Their leaders were their leaders. David Eng, Nick Gonshin were fantastic. And they really brought it. They were in this game in the first half. And tomorrow against Japan, it's great that the game's coming up tomorrow because they're at this level right now. So I expect them to win tomorrow.
There's not much room to maneuver for the Canadians. So if you're a coach, are you telling the team to go for it? You know, hell-bent for leather, so to speak, or are you just trying to not panic?
Well, I've seen these guys train, and they work extremely hard. And I think it'd be very disheartening for the Canadian group to go to Rio and come home without a win. So I think it's so important to break that goose egg, get a win under your belt, and go home with your chins up.
Thanks so much, Greg, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Canada versus Japan. All right, so we're going to Spruce Meadows now. It's the Masters of Show Jumping and the Nations Cup, the team event. Canada very close at the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. They finished 4th, but the Olympic champions from France are there. Bruce Rainey has it on the other side from Spruce Meadows. Brazil's Boy wonder. First time out at the BMO Nations Cup here at Spruce Meadows, and Brazil delivers the victory.
A Brazilian breakthrough a year ago at the BMO Nations Cup, and memories of Rio remain the theme as this year's Cup draws near. The team from France, primed and ready, just weeks removed from a Tour de Force gold medal in South America. The Americans, always a force in team show jumping. It was a team of veterans who shone like silver in Rio. Tonight, 4 fresh faces take center stage. No team has dominated at Spruce like the Germans. Rio was the swan song for the great Ludger Beerbaum. His memories include a bronze medal jump-off win over a spirited Canadian foursome. And for the red and white, a legitimate shot on this Calgary Saturday night, Tiffany Foster and the living legend